Welcome to Caribbean American News.
Special good night to all our viewers, our listeners to Caribbean American News Media. Well, Mr. Speaker is in the house. Muela. Please share. Mr. Speaker is in the house. You all know you all have to stand up. Joella, to boot. Let's Speaker Atwe, Judge La Atwe, only put to boot, man. Mr. Speaker is in the house. Greetings, everybody. Yes, I have my robe on. I swear I say Mr. Speaker. I say Mr. Speaker, I swear. Yeah. So, folks, share the live as far as you can. Let's have some fun. I am telling you that our lines are up. The lines are open. Don't be afraid to call. Speak as long as you want. You know, enjoy yourself. Speak your mind. Tonight is an open mic, but I want to greet everybody. Welcome to the platform, our YouTube viewers, and those of you who are on our platform. Oswea nukama he dife oswea. Yeah, man, Joella, moisia. Yes, call everybody. Call your enemies. Call the hacks, the hackalacks. Yes, man, call them. We in the house. Let me give you some time to share, folks. Right now it is 8 p.m. In our studio here, and we greet everybody tonight. Greetings. Happy Mother's Day. Well, Mother's Day is gone, so greetings to all, folks. Hope you had a beautiful and productive day today. All right? Yes, Mr. Speaker is in the house.
What do you mean, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Mr. Speaker, I realize for a long time you want to be part of the debate. Since when that's your role? Since when that's your role?
Yes, my friends, we are live on the air. We are live here in the United States. We are covering the island of St. Lucia. Yes, we are covering. We are waiting for our live to grow. Please join the live. Call your enemies. Call Tiger Hack. Tonight is Tagahak, friends. Tagahak. Tonight is Tagahak. Yes, tonight, Tagahak night. Wow, that's it. That is beautiful. Mr. Speaker is in the house. This house is in session, and I am the judge here tonight. I am both speaker and I am judge. Tagahak, friends. Tagahak. Tonight is Tagahak night, and it is also Bazooka night. Ay, ay, ay. And by the way, our flush button, it is up and running. Guess what? We anticipate a hack will call. So Tagahak, tell the hack to call the number 929-586-1821. Tagahak. It's fire tonight, all right? Let's get to work, friends. Let me tell you something. Don't be sad. Don't be upset. Don't be outraged. Let us know your thoughts. Call the line, and we are going to discuss a lawyer. If you're a lawyer, whatever you are, call. The judge is in session. Mukika fair judgment laws or elsewhere. Where? Judgment in the house. Yes. Good. And don't forget that you can support the program through the star system. That's how the program will be sustained. That's how we're going to keep this program on the air. But, you know, we normally have our little sponsors here. We're not getting money from the sponsors, by the way. We have some sponsors that we would want to share with you here on the program tonight. Remember, tonight is Tagahak night. Tagahak night. Kose hakla. Tagahak, we are tonight. Yes, man. Yes. Good night, everybody. Oliver Judge Oliver is in session. Muki speaker, Muki judge shue. In this house, I judge shue. So, hacks, y'all are welcome to come onto the live. And to our Facebook friends, welcome to Tagahak night. Yes, it is the 15th of the 5th month, 8:03 in the PM. And tonight, we are firing on all cylinder. Yes, we are going to leave no stone unturned. Now, the question is, how did we get here? But let's go to promote our sponsors. One, let me say to you folks that Lux Rental, it is the best rental on the island, and you must get your car rental from Lux Car Rental. All right? Call them at 758-285-2848. All right, that's one of our one of the small businesses that we are supporting here on our platform, Lux Car Rental. By the way, we also have my friend Pearl, Pearl's Passion. I am telling you, friends, my daughter got sick last week. I got a call from the nurse that we should come and get her. Listen to me. I brought her home. We went to the doctor first. I brought her home. Then I rubbed that girl with one of these rubs I got from Pearl. And let me tell you something. That child bounced off the bed within a good hour. Bounced off the bed and was running up and down back to school. Very good. I am telling you, her product works. And you must get... And by the way, say Haxla, nuni we med Pearl. Yes, she have we med for your situation, all right? So, Tagahak, please get your meds, your forte from our friend Pearl's Passion with a Z. Now, telephone number 758-717-0194. Again, 586-758 718-0194, 758-717-0194, and you will get your massage there. Yes, you can't afford to miss it. Folks, there is so much going on. First of all, we got to get to the news, the breaking news. Let's not waste any more time. We're going to get to the news tonight. We want to take as many calls as possible on the platform. We're going to take calls tonight. We're going to take a lot of calls, and that's why I'm going to leave my phone line open at 929-586-1821, and we are going to fix Mr. Speaker. Tonight is Hack-a-Lack night. Yes, so therefore, you need to tag a hack. Tag a hack, your favorite hack. Tag them, and let's get to work. Please share the live, folks, as you join the platform. Again, you can support the broadcast through our star system. I believe it is working. That's not the doorbell. That's my prayer reminder. It reminds me that I need to pray at a certain time. That's my other phone, all right? That's not the doorbell. Yes. Okay, so let's get to work, folks. How did we get here to Mr. CHASTANET being suspended from the House? Yes, how did we get here? That is the question. It is a good question. It's a pertinent question for us tonight. And I am the presiding judge. And tonight we are going to make judgment. Somebody asked me for the gavel. Gavel mem say amato mo oblige, not the regular wooden one, but Shazmo say all steel, because we can't sever the wood. Nah, man. Tag a hack. Yes. So let's get to work, friends. Let's get to work. So how did we get here where Mr. CHASTANET is being suspended? How did we get here that ever so often now Mr. CHASTANET got to find himself in court in order to get justice, or in order for him to be able to exercise his franchise? The people voted for him as the opposition leader. They voted for the Honorable Alan CHASTANET. And I am trying to figure out tonight, how did we get here? This is history. This is history, my friends. It is not good history. It is bad history. I am saying to you, we cannot be operating the way we are operating. And I'm going to tell you how we got here. All right? We got here because for the past 4 years, most of you would have witnessed on social media lies and the besmirchment of the Honorable Alan CHASTANET by the hacks. You know there are good hacks and there are bad hacks. Yes, there are good hacks and there are bad ones. Now here's what the bad ones did. They spew hatred, bitterness, lies over and over against the Honorable CHASTANET. Most of you would remember they calling him corrupt, a white man. Go back to your country. He's not one of us. He was treated as an animal, a dog, not a human being. And that is the truth. That is the truth. I don't know if anybody can prove otherwise. But as the judge tonight and the speaker, I am saying to you, this is my assessment of what Mr. Alan CHASTANET have been going through on the island of St. Lucia. Tonight, it must end. We must stand up and we must speak up loudly against this disruption of government, this disruption of civility in our society, civility in our House of Representatives from the highest level. And if it can happen to Mr. CHASTANET as opposition leader and as a rich man, I can imagine what takes place at the lower level. The poor families, persons who cannot go to court, but got to deal with injustice. Mr. CHASTANET has the means to get into court. Many of you don't. And therefore your constitutional rights and privileges are being taken away from you. And because you have nowhere to turn, you just accept. There are persons in our prisons who are languishing. Why? Because their constitutional rights was removed from them. Their cases are not being heard. Justice seems to have been stalled for them. Tonight, I am the speaker. of this house, this honorable house, and we are going to have a conversation tonight. So how did we get here? And that's the question for the night. How did we get where we are today? Now let me remind you how we got here. Pay attention, folks.
Reticence on the part of Labour Party supporters. Fight back. Fight fire with fire. You see me right now? I taking them on head on now. No more Mr. Nice Guy. You want to interfere with me? And I keep telling you, I don't care. When I'm fighting, if my opponent is a dwarf or a giant, I'm fighting with all the ammunition at my disposal. All. I ain't saying, well, because he's a dwarf, let me use a catapult. And because he's a giant, I'm going to use a bazooka. Dwarf to giant, getting bazooka. Because you do not deal with... You ever have Baygon spraying, you spraying Baygon to knock out mosquitoes? No. Get rid of them completely. Move the mosquitoes, the irritants.
Okay, that was compliment of United Pack. St. Lucia, United Pack. All right? So, many of you witness on live television the Speaker of the House indicating his plans going forward for anyone who stands up against him, the irritants, that he's going to use his bazooka, whether you're big or small, dwarf or tall, that he's going to use every means at his disposal to fight you, to fight anyone that comes after him. Let's listen again to Mr. Bazooka Man. All right, just bear with me. He seems to have lost his tongue there. But let's see how we can get it back, all right?
Reticence on the part of Labour Party supporters. Fight back. Fight fire with fire. You see me right now? I taking them on head on now. No more Mr. Nice Guy. You want to interfere with me? And I keep telling you, I don't care. When I'm fighting, if my opponent is a dwarf or a giant, I'm fighting with all the ammunition at my disposal. All. I ain't saying, well, because he's a dwarf, let me use a catapult. And because he's a giant, I'm going to use a bazooka. Dwarf to giant, getting bazooka. Because you do not deal with... You ever have Baygon spraying, you spraying Baygon to knock out mosquitoes? No. Get rid of them completely. Move the mosquitoes, the irritants.
Okay. So there you have it again. Irritants. Huh? Fight fire with fire. Huh? Fight fire with fire. And this is the Speaker, folks, of the House. In any other country, the Speaker would have been removed immediately. The problem we are facing today is an unwillingness by the Prime Minister of St. Lucia to clean up his house. That's the problem. I'm going to repeat it again. The problem in St. Lucia right now is that the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Pear, does not have the gall to bring order to his cabinet, to bring discipline to it, and to bring some form of normalcy to the House. Right now we have mono. The House of Assembly is mono, not normal. And therefore, tonight, our house, will bring normalcy to a moral House of Representatives. Tonight we're going to discuss. So, one, we saw the Speaker of the House declaring war. It was a declaration of war. Not that he's going to shoot anyone with a gun, but he's going to use every means at his disposal. And the means that the Speaker of the House has right now at his disposal, one, it is the power of the chair, the power of the Speaker. And therefore, we saw him trying his best to use powers that was not invested in him by the Constitution of St. Lucia. We saw it. So how did we get here? Let's go back down. Let's take a stroll, friends, through memory lane. I'm building a case right now. Order in the House.
You're saying, I want to repeat my question. You are placing a reliance on a valuation of parcel 11 that, in my humble opinion, is misplaced. I am asking you, there is a valuation of $3.5 million upon which the member, well, not even the member, because nothing that has been shown there indicated the member was involved. I saw the chairman, I saw the various boards. The question is a very simple question. Even assuming all what you're saying is correct, how does that translate to corruption on the part of the member personally and cabinet collectively? That's all I want to answer.
Mr. Speaker, there are many more issues that we allege that this cabinet...
Member, I don't know about what other issues members are alleging. I speak of a very great...
So, first of all, we see the Speaker acting very rudely. And you can see that he's trying to get to the plan. He's trying to get to the plan. So, he can't wait to exercise whatever power he think he has in his head. All right? Now, let's continue.
What is the corruption that you allege in the transaction based on what you have said?
Mr. Speaker, I'm going to repeat myself. There was a valuation that was done in 2013 for exactly the same piece of land, and almost exactly the same amount of land, saving a part of footpath. And that in 2013...
Remember, you choose to ignore my question. I can only ask you to take your seat, that you shall not respond to my question, and I shall make a determination of this matter on the basis of the facts presented to me.
So, folks, first of all, the Speaker is not allowing Mr. Chastanet to speak in silence. He's interrupting him. He's forcing him, trying to corner him. And then when he realizes he's not getting through, then he says to the Honorable Alan Chastanet, take your seat. I am going to make a judgment now. Now, the question would be, what are you making a judgment on? You did not allow Mr. Chastanet to present his case. You listened to Mr. Frederick's presentation in silence. You remember that? But then you cut Mr. Chastanet's presentation short. But now you are saying, okay, you're going to make a judgment. The question is, what are you making a judgment on if you have not heard in details the Honorable Alan Chastanet's presentation? If you understand what I'm saying. Now, I'm the judge tonight. I'm the one making the judgment here tonight. So again, the question is, as a senior judge, that is me, how did you come to the conclusion that Mr. Chastanet did not prove his point? Also, by the way, in the last sitting, you said to him, "Oh, Mr. Chastanet don't have to prove anything as the opposition leader. Mr. Richard, you are the one that got to prove, not Mr. Chastanet." That's what you said. But you have made a judgment. And by the way, the judgment that you made, you judged something totally different than what the argument was. So the question is, Mr. Bazooka Man, Mr. Brother, how did you come to the conclusion that Mr. Chastanet needed to apologize and take it back? Now, what is he taking back? Did you hear what he had to take back? Was there something he had to take back? Let's listen a little more. He will tell us what Mr. Chastanet have to take back.
Out of an abundance of caution, well, I don't know if you're leaving, member. You shall not leave before I make a ruling.
Okay, so the judge said to the Honorable Mr. Chastanet, in other words, I am taking away your rights, your constitutional rights, your freedom of movement. I am going to take that from you in the House of Assembly. I'm taking it from you. In other words, you have the right. A matter of fact, you have the right to remain silent. Sit down. You will not leave until I have completed my sentence, my judgment and sentence. Boy, Bazooka Man, you're good. You think the house is a play court. You think it's baby house you're playing. We got you. This is not baby house. This is not daddy and mommy. This is serious business. So you interrupted Mr. Chastanet one, and then you said to him, don't leave. Upale pièce côté. You know, you would take it to mean that you are under arrest. Because if I can't go through a door freely, then it is one, either I am under arrest, two, I'm held hostage. You think the Honorable Judge Oliver messing around? Let's say that again, slowly. So if you are saying that Mr. Chastanet cannot leave, two things is taking place here. One, Mr. Chastanet is under arrest. We did not hear any rights being read to him, that he have the right to remain silent, and he's been arrested. No rights was read to him, but he could not have gone out. Which brings us to this point, that the Honorable Alan Chastanet was held hostage. If he cannot move, he's not under arrest, then legally as a judge, an experienced judge, I would assume that something else is taking place here. The question is this something else that is taking place legal? Does a speaker have the right to restrict a member from leaving the House? Well, let's see if Mr. Bazooka Man has the right.
Pardon?
Go ahead.
No, you shall not leave before I make a ruling. Members, the statement that was made, members, the statement that was made on Friday is as follows. We talk about, lastly, Mr. Speaker, is this. I am surprised that the Prime Minister would put this reference to corruption. So if you want to really resolve crime in this country, Mr. Speaker, it starts in cabinet. The level of corruption of members in your own cabinet has to be addressed. This situation with Bannon, how could you have a piece of land, Mr. Speaker, that was valued in 2013 at almost $7 million, and in 2021 it was revalued to be at $3.5 million. The crime situation is serious.
So let's just based on Mr. Alan Chastanet's concern as the opposition leader, which is genuine, that there is a piece of land that was valued a couple of years ago at one price, and today it is valued for far less and was sold to the first person that came forward, then it is the right of the opposition to question the deal. Because as a judge on this platform and nowhere else, I would want to know as government property waterfront, because you don't have a lot of waterfront property in Castries anymore. So I would think that you would want to preserve what you have. You would want to make the best out of whatever lands you have along your waterside in Castries. So the opposition leader is right, and he's looking out for the interests of St. Lucians when he questioned the sale of the Bannon's land. So again, remember, Mr. Chastanet is saying, look, something is wrong in this deal. Something is wrong. I'm not comfortable with what I am hearing. I am not comfortable. And most St. Lucians are saying we are not comfortable either. So they are relying on the opposition leader, Mr. Alan Chastanet, to ask the pertinent questions in the House. Not to sit down and agree with you just for peace, but to ask the question. So Mr. Chastanet said, look, man, we trying to deal with corruption. We said we trying to stamp it out, and let's start in our own house. Can we have some transparency with the deal? Why? There was a land valued at a certain amount of money in 2016, 15, whenever it was, but now it was sold for far less. So can I have some clarity, not on behalf of myself only, but on behalf of the people of St. Lucia? Remember, it is waterfront land. Now, when you start hearing things like, oh, it is an old piece of land with garbage on it, may I suggest to you, the Jewers in this honorable house, that land does not rot. Garbage does. And if there is garbage on a land, it does not affect the value. Can we say that? Good. And I will tell you a deal that you can look at if you think that I'm wrong. Look at the Dyer Mall deal. Yes. Out of garbage came something beautiful. Ain't it? And we will touch on that shortly. But let's stay on this bazooka issue tonight. All right? We're setting up our case here in the Honorable House. So we're hearing in the House, well, it has garbage, Mr. Speaker, so it is just a piece of land sitting there. Well, the land couldn't go anywhere else. We couldn't move the land. Unless you call C.O. Williams to bazooka the land and move it somewhere else. But for now, the land is the land. Whether it have garbage on it or it has old cars, whatever it is a valuable piece of land, because the value of land goes up and not down. Especially the waterfront land there in Castries. So the Honorable Alan Chastanet, he's right. He's on to something that we got to be concerned about. Because what we know is that there are a lot of persons in St. Lucia, especially those of certain position, who love to go after lands. They love to gather lands. They like to go around and buy out prime lands and sell it more expensive than they bought it to get a profit. So I would say that I am not saying Mr. Frederick did anything, Bobolis or whatever, Ivole, anything. I have no proof of that. But what I can say to you, we must look a little deeper into the deal. It might not lead to Mr. Frederick. It might lead to other persons who need to be accountable. So all the government had to do in the House sitting, and even before the House sitting, was to bring some clarity to the people of St. Lucia. Show us the deal. Let us know the plans for that property. Let us know who the investor is. It cannot be a secret. Let us know who the investor is. Because outside of information, people, they're going to speculate. They're going to be suspicious. Why? Because there is the absence of information. And that's why the government have what we called Government Information Service. What I am saying now is that the Government Information Service has come to a propaganda information service, an arm almost of the Labour Party, because the United Workers' Party bloggers, those who go onto the live, are treated a certain way. Not only that, you have presenters, you have announcers on NTN who blatantly disrespects the opposition leader at every opportunity they get after the sitting and before the sitting. There is an elderly gentleman, that's all he does. Guess what? We can see. We are smart. Our eyes are open. We are seeing what is happening. Posts that should not be removed, communication, comments are removed. Persons are being blocked. They are not disrespectful, but they are being blocked. Information is being tampered with. And the excuse that we get is, oh, yeah, it's a legal matter and there are legal complications. No, sir. Once you sit in the House and debate, you are protected from lawsuits. So the person who made the information minister, who made the excuse that we had to clean it up because it's liable, something is wrong with you, sir. So that's why we are concluding that it's a propaganda machine now and not a government service. Okay, so fix that. So outside of that kind of information that we are receiving, we are speculating because to any individual who, understand real estate, whether it's in St. Lucia or anywhere in the world, you know that garbage, one, does not affect the value of a land. And two, you you cannot sell a property way cheaper than it was estimated to have cost years ago. So we are still awaiting information, Mr. Speaker, on this land matter. It has not gone to rest. The question is still there. We need details, we need information on the sale of that land. And you, sir, and your cabals got to give us the information, because this is not the St. Lucia Labour Party government. This is the people of St. Lucia government. You are not representing the Labour Party. You are representing the people of St. Lucia. Remember that. I must remind you. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, I have a judgment to make against you tonight on this platform. Let's listen to the rest.
Needs to address it in their own cabinet. The Prime Minister keeps on playing this game that he is the big, bad, tough guy, and the buck stops with him. We have not seen that, and we have to set the example as leaders. There are too many examples, Mr. Speaker, of members not doing that. Mr. Speaker, I thank you. What is before me is not whether land is valued at 20 million or 60 million. Is whether the transaction made in the sale of the land to a client of an attorney, whether corruption was attached to that sale. You have not made that case. And
now, hold a minute. You heard the speaker changing the goalposts, and he's saying to the Honorable Alan Chastanet that he have not proven his case. Now remember, folks, I'm the judge here. Tagahak. I'm the judge tonight. I'm going to make a judgment. I'm going to cast a judgment. So he's saying, oh, what is before us? This is exactly what is before us. It is not the value of the land. It is whether the deal was corrupt. So he's expecting Mr. Chastanet to say to him, hey, yes, Mr. Speaker, it's corrupt. It's corrupt. It's corruption. There's corruption because blah, 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 blah. So he's trying to corner Mr. Chastanet. He's trying to force him into a corner. Corruption is very broad. The simplest of things can be corruption. Jazz tickets can be corruption. Huh? Insider trading, corruption. Lining up your cousin for the land is corruption. Lying to the public is corruption. Not giving the right information to the public, sir, that is corruption. Trying to silence the opposition leader, it is corruption. Bullying is corruption. Deleting information from government website and telling us something different, in other words, spitting in our eyes and tell us it's raining, that's corruption. So corruption is it's broad. Simplest thing can be corruption. Leaking of information, corruption. Planning. When you get in the house to beat down the opposition leader, planning the order of the beatdown, it's corruption. Calling the Honorable Alan Chastanet a white man, it's racism and it is corruption in government. Can be broad. So the question is all the above that I said, is it happening here in St. Lucia? That's the question, the pertinent question. And that's what we must ponder on to prove corruption. In this deal, is there transparency in the deal? That's the question. Is there transparency? Have we given the opposition leader the request information that he wants, the clarification that he wants on this land? Are we giving that to him? If the answer is no, then he's going to speculate, he's going to ask questions. He will continue to ask those questions. What would you do? Continue to put him out of the house to avoid him asking the questions? Let's continue with the clip.
I am the judge in this chamber, and I would ask you to withdraw the statements that I have read. You will not withdraw. Members, I wish to draw your attention to the fact that I have requested the member for Cass Street, for Miku South. Member, you shall not leave yet. Officer, he shall not leave. Officer.
Okay, good. So you hear 3 times the Speaker of the House, who is not a judge, not a police, requesting, he's not a commissioner, requesting the police to stop the Honorable Alan Chastanet from leaving the house, the well of the house. Huh? Talk to me. So here he's stopping the movement, the free movement of Mr. Chastanet. So he's saying to the officers there, and by the way, my heart goes out to the officers, because the officers have never dealt with something like this. The officers have always opened the door for the opposition leader, the now Prime Minister, to walk out freely after he cussed off everybody in the house. The police officers have opened the door for Mr. Pear to walk out while he is spitting fire and cussing off even the benches in the house. While he's shouting, I ain't afraid you, I don't afraid you, I ain't afraid you. You can't do me nothing, you can't do me nothing. They opened the door nicely for him to go out. No speaker I've ever asked was, and by the way, the SLP, they are known for walking out of the house. They have the most steps. They graduate from the house with the most steps. That's why they love step program. Yokini, please steps. Walking out of the house. But here is a speaker breaking records. Asking the police to stop the movement of the Honorable Alan Chastanet. And let's see what happens. So you see the Honorable Alan Chastanet, he's walking out. You can see clearly that the police officers, they're opening the door for him. Why? Because they're confused. They cannot arrest him. They don't know what grounds they're arresting him on. They cannot arrest him on the grounds that the speaker said to arrest him. So the officer stands there. And as a speaker, you cannot put our law enforcement in this predicament. And there is somebody in the house that we got to call out, and that is the AG. The Attorney General sits there. Watch what is happening. And did not advise the House on the matter. So one, you have the AG, the Attorney General, which is the top lawyer for the government and the people of St. Lucia. Then you have police officers who are just doing their jobs, being put in a position where they will have to either hold Mr. Chastanet beyond his will, keep him in the house without charging him, one, without putting him on the arrest. Again, the question would be, on the what grounds are you keeping the Honorable Chastanet in the house? So the police officers now are put in a position that if we hold Mr. Chastanet and lock the door, keep him inside, one, the possibility is there that we are kidnapping him because we have not charged him with anything. We are detaining him. We have no charges. What are we going to charge him with? And that's a confusion that the one speaker have placed our police officers. And that's why tonight, early in this show, I am saying that the Speaker of the House must resign. You can no longer lead. You can no longer preside in the House of Representatives. You can no longer do your job. You are compromised in the sense that your judgment seems to be off too often. And we are questioning now all the judgments that you have made in the House in the past. Now we, the citizens, are questioning whether they were legal or not. One, you started by doing this, making a declaration that you are withholding the salary of the Honorable Alan Chastanet. You started on that premise. That's where you started. Again, that's not your role. You have no authority to suspend the man's salary. And what you did not say to the St. Lucian people after is that Mr. Chastanet got every cent of his salary. And it had nothing to do with you. So that was the first misjudgment. But the St. Lucian people, we didn't bother ourselves. We just say, okay, he's flexing his elastic muscles. Let him go ahead. He's the Speaker of the House. Let's see what's going to happen next. And you strike again. Try to haul him before some privileged committee, only to be taken to court. And I question the AG. If we have an AG that we're paying thousands of dollars, why is he misguiding, if he is, the government of St. Lucia and the Speaker of the House? That's the question for tonight. Brethren, we have a crisis, a legal crisis on our hands in St. Lucia. We have a legal crisis. Don't be distracted. There is a problem, friends. There is a problem. So one, the Speaker cannot, he can no longer work, represent, or lead the House, or facilitate, or whatever he does. He can no longer do it. I know what the hacks are going to say. Shut up, go back to your country. Vieux pasteur, fake pasteur. That's okay. But I am the judge in here, and I'm going to cast judgment. So you can jump up, you can jump down. The truth will remain tonight. Ain't nothing going to stop it. So let's finish this clip because we have to get to the case.
Leave. Okay. Members, the member from Miku South will be dealt with subsequently. In this matter of my ruling, I now bring the attention to members.
No, Mr. Speaker, you will be dealt with subsequently. Yes, you, sir, will be dealt with. Let's go back.
And I draw your attention to Standing Order 43-4. If a member shows disregard for the authority of the chair, I now call on, I shall now call the member by name as authorized by Standing Order 43.
Mr. Claudius, sir, you were called by name today by a judge, a real judge, not a play judge or wannabe judge. You, sir, were called today by a judge. Now, in this courthouse, we authorize flushing. It is okay, all right? We don't detain people. We don't keep them beyond their will, but we flush them. It's the fastest way out of the house, all right? Yes, I said it. Let's move forward with the case.
And I now ask this House, what sanction, if any, that they wish to place on the Honorable Alan CHASTANET, Leader of Government Business?
Hey there, you getting some gas?
Yeah, he needs some gas. So, he's asking, yes, what guys, what y'all want to do him? Let's go back.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I would love to hear what the options are. But I think in the context of what has transpired, the honorable member should be asked again to apologize.
Now hold. He wants to know what's the option. What's the option? May pa SP option mouse have. He already reading his papers. He already know what's going on. Yes. Yes. Let's go back. Look, the AG. The AG sits there. He looks like he fell asleep, but I don't know what's going on there. All of them on their cell phones. All of them, most of them on their cell phones. Yes, man, it's going down, it's going down. All of them on the cell phone. Yes, we get him today. Shasta going down. Uh-huh. All of you got flushed too? Order in the court. Yes, man. This is both the court and the house. Yes. Annually, we have work to do tonight. We have work to do. Let's go.
If not, he should not be allowed into this chamber until he does so. I think it is a fair and reasonable request of him that the member has not proven what he said, and therefore he should withdraw and apologize or ask to remain out of the chamber until he does so. But I am freely guided.
So, so Brother Hilaire is saying that the Honorable Chastanet has not proven his point. A lot Judge Akor was have. But Mr. Hilaire, we're going to send you a strong signal in 2000 and soon. I won't put the date out, but soon we are going to send you a strong signal. You better doing carnival and jazz, so we'll put you in a carnival band. You manage the carnival band. You'll do a good job there. Lano Kamito. Me pa Kaila, because he said we want the member to apologize and to withdraw. To withdraw and to apologize. You think he's going to apologize for the voom voom? Somebody has an agenda. Ay, ay, ay. Yes. So here's the opportunity. Yes, but he going to apologize to us. We get him. If you see them fellas excited, enjoying themselves, Mr. King say, lock him up, lock him up. They shall lock him up, lock him up. King, in the Dia Mall, we have something that we built in the basement. We'll tell you about it soon. But Reverend, let's finish, all right? Mr. Hilaire is on the floor, all right? Order in the court. Go, sir.
The options we can consider. Such disrespect in the House cannot continue, Mr. Speaker.
The chair's discretion is limited only to a maximum of the next sitting. The House has no such limitation. And if you ask me to put your question to the House, which is that the member, the Honorable Alan Chastanet, because the rules do not at this point in time permit me to refer to his constituency because you cannot sanction a constituency, that the Honorable Alan Chastanet be asked to withdraw the statements, issue an apology, failing which this Honorable House shall rule that he...
Now I'll show you why I suspect I would have not said what he said there, that you would not call the constituency name because you can sanction the constituency. But when you sanction the man, he's the representative, of course. You're sanctioning 30-something thousand people. So I don't even understand, and that's why, again, the Constitution and the rules of the House must be reviewed. It must be made plain and not left for any interpretation like what this man is doing. This man is reading into stuff that is not even there. He should not. So the Honorable Alan Chastanet, the representative for Miku North, that is the guy that you are suspending, sir. You are suspending him and 30-something thousand voters, which you need to pay attention to, you and the Labour Party people. 30-something thousand people, voted for the St. Lucia United Workers' Party. Yes. So when you see Chastanet, he has an army. Right now, he has an army, about 45,000 people behind him. Because I was not on the scene, so I add to the 45,000. And there are hundreds more who were not in anything, and they're here now. So you got to be careful and tread softly, sir. Let's go forward.
Is that your question, Leader of Government Business? I now put the question that this House do rule that failing to issue an apology and a withdrawal as directed by the Speaker, that the Honorable Alan Chastanet is not to be allowed in the presence of this honorable chamber until such time as this is done. I now put the question, as many as of that opinion, say aye. Aye. As many as of a contrary opinion, say no. No. Madam Clerk, please take note. And the officers of this chamber are to be accordingly directed.
Okay, enough of this story. This is getting me vomity, getting me a little sick, The democracy of the nation is being played. And I'll tell you what is happening there, folks. Let me tell you what is happening, right? clearly there is bitterness and hatred towards the Honorable Alan Chastanet. And it appears that because of that bitterness, animosity towards Mr. Chastanet, it is causing these men to act unrighteously. But I say to you, as a good judge, that unrighteousness leads to dysfunction. I'm going to say it again. That's a big one. Unrighteousness leads to dysfunction. And I will say to you, your leadership will continue to be a dysfunctional one. You cannot lead in peace as a government if you continue to be so bitter, so bitter and so angry towards one man who have done nothing to any one of you. The only thing I found out that Mr. Alan Chastanet did was to defeat you all at the last elections. And the other thing he did was to defeat some of your politicians, your representatives, your government ministers, defeat them for leadership of the United Workers' Party. Say, Pusaya, you're age. Yeah? That is what killing them. Their opportunity to be prime minister. They aspire from young to be prime minister of St. Lucia, but here is Mr. Chastanet. They say to you he came from the North Pole like Santa Claus. Yes, you guys are so unprofessional and so weak that a white man from the North Pole comes to your hot country and when you guys won in elections, and many of you for leadership of the party, something is wrong with you guys. You all are weak and should not have been in politics right now because you allow a white man to come out from a foreign land and beat you all at the polls. And only beat you all. He beat some of those same ministers who are there with you now for leadership of the United Workers' Party. Pusaya Fashe. I let the news out now. Yes, Mr. Speaker, I warn you. Don't follow those guys with their anger. Their opportunity for leadership was removed from them. That is the problem. And they are peddling this kind of bitterness. Manufactured outrage. Manufactured love for the country. No. You guys are ruling in unrighteousness. And until you move to righteousness and right doing, you will continue to be hauled in court by the opposition leader. You will continue to have dysfunction in your leadership, and everything you touch will be blighted until you repent. Until you give up the venom, you put it aside so that you can work together for the good of the poorer families in the country. Because if you guys were not focused on Chastanet, our roads would have been done. Yes, gas prices would have been low. Our food prices would have been at a better place. But you guys are focused on Mr. Chastanet. Our hospital at St. Jude would have been finished. The fencing at St. Jude would have been better than what it is now. But because of your hatred, and it's being peddled around the country, even professionals, engineers, and other folks who are professional persons are getting caught up in making bad decisions on behalf of the country just to get back at this one man. I just made a big point. But that is the truth. I'm the judge tonight. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm seeing. And what I am seeing is that you guys are allowing unrighteousness to take hold of you, and you are spreading it to every department of St. Lucia. Every department of your government. But there is one place that you're getting stopped in your track, and that is the courts. And very soon, you guys are going to do something to change somebody in the legal system. Because this person in the legal system can't be ruling all the time against the government. We got to do you got to be transferred to Aruba, to Canada, somewhere. We got to find somewhere to transfer you to, because we need to get somebody who can rule in our favor. Thank God that they are still decent men who love their country, honest men that will not allow politicians to hoodwink them and to bamboozle their cerveau. Thank God that there are still men who are standing with integrity in our society, or there go the rights of every citizen of the country. Thank God we still have men with integrity. Men that does not walk around with bitterness and hatred. Thank God for good men and women who are standing up, even in our government systems, to say no, no, no to this Labour Party. Say no to them. Let's go over, my friends, to a statement from the Honorable Alan Chastanet. I'm going to read for you. Reverend, the phone lines are open. You can call at any time, 929-586-1821. Let's go to a statement from the Honorable Alan Chastanet. I don't know what happened to that statement, but okay, good. Here it is. And this is a statement today released from the Honorable Alan Chastanet. He's saying, I'm sharing an update regarding the case against the Speaker and the Attorney General, which was heard this morning. So here is Mr. Chastanet. He's going to be sharing some information. Let me get that information up. He's going to be sharing that information to us today. Please pay attention as we go forward. Okay, so I will have to move the number from the top so that you folks can see it. I'm going to put the number back at the appropriate time. Okay, so let's go forward, folks. So here is a statement from the Honorable Alan Chastanet. We made an urgent application for an interim injunction to restrain the Speaker of the House from excluding Mr. Chastanet as leader of the opposition and a member of the House from sitting in the House when it next convenes. When the matter came on for hearing today, the judge's attention was drawn to the fact that Mr. Ernest Hilaire had filed an affidavit in the court this morning indicating that the government members intended to pass a motion at the next sitting of the House to lift the suspension, which was Mr. Alan Chastanet's contents, which Mr. Chastanet contends was unlawful. On that basis, the parties negotiated the terms of an undertaking that was given by the Speaker to the court, which was the same injunctive effect as if an order had been made by the court in these terms. The undertaking given by the Speaker was as follows. 1. To invite claimant to attend the next sitting of the House whenever that should occur. 2. Not to exclude or cause to be excluded the claimant from entering the House or the precincts of the House. 3. To allow the claimant to take his seat in the House but not participate in. 4. The motion to lift the suspension on the claimant shall be the first matter to be dealt with by the House at the next sitting of the House whenever that should occur. And 5. Upon the motion being carried, the claimant will be at liberty to carry on his duties in service of the House. Mr. Chastanet will, therefore, be attending the next and subsequent sittings of the House. Mr. Chastanet's substantive claim for a declaration that his suspension and detention was unconstitutional and unlawful, and for damages has been scheduled for case management and trial later this year. Okay, my people. So, here's what happened based on what Now, I'm the judge. I was not in the court today. I was busy doing some stuff. But here's what happened basically based on what we're reading here. Now, we are speaking again based on what we're reading here. Now, this broadcast does not represent the views, whatever is discussed on this platform. It is not a reflection of the United Workers' Party. All right? So we're going to make that disclaimer again that our broadcast tonight, the presentations here does not reflect the position, or it does not reflect anything at all from the United Workers' Party. So let's go back, folks. Let's go back. Stay with me. So they went to, and the same thing happened at the last hearing. Very same thing happened. Very same thing happened. Listen, let's break it down, folks. So the Mr. Chastanet's team went to court today with the intention of having the injunction, having a restraining order on the speaker, which will permit Mr. Chastanet to go to his work that he was elected to do. But when these guys got to court, the government, the government and the speaker came to court saying that Mr. Judge, we were planning to lift the order, you know. We don't want to go any. Basically, we don't have to come here because we were planning to lift the suspension order at the next sitting. So you show up for court, and based on the advice that they gave you, they said to you, I'm just suspecting that some legal mind said to you guys, Sazoka fela se betis. Sazoka fela se betis, monsieur, pa fe bagay sa, zoka pouye sa. So here's what they said. Oh, we were coming to file an affidavit in the court this morning. That's why we came. Now, this is Mr. Healer. Your Honor, we came here to file an affidavit in court just to indicate that we as government members, our intention was to pass a motion at the next sitting to lift the suspension. So Mr. Chastanet, he don't have to apologize anymore or take anything back. He can come in and sit. He can come to the house now. He can come. We're not blocking him. We're not going to detain him anymore. We're not going to arrest him. No suspension. We were planning that. Well, that's what we were planning, Mr. Judge, all the time. Mr. Judge. How can the government be so? How can Mr. Francis embarrass the government like that? I don't know if I'm reading right, but I'm the judge. Muki righteous judge or swear. Muki judge that. So, Reverend, this is just what I'm seeing, all right? I know many of you would love me to be a judge in St. Lucia so I can hear your cases. I shy these on us. Now, straight up bodily. Straight bodily, not just vaser, straight bodily, especially young say haxla, straight bodily. But let's go on before I send some people to bodily. We tell her, all right? Bon. So, let's stay with me, brethren. Stay with me, all right? It's getting interesting. So, Mr. Healer, who is the leader of government business, after all the jazz and the celebration, some sense came to his head at jazz. Boy, we need to have more jazz in St. Lucia because it seems that's the only thing that brings some normalcy to some people's head. So here is Mr. Healer coming to court, saying to the court, but Mr. Judge, look, we have something for you. We were just playing around. We didn't mean to do that. The speaker, no, we were just playing around with Mr. Chastanet. Mr. Chastanet, you can come back in your hair. You know what they're acting like? You know when you know that you have some children, right? That used to happen to me. Eh? You know, in your deliberations as little boys, there's this one little boy. His mother bad. You're afraid his mother, but he miserable. and you thump him, and you hit him one hard thump because he's miserable. But you know his mother is a bully. So when you see the mother coming, you patting them, don't say nothing, you hear? We'll give you sweetie. Don't cry, you hear? Hey, we were just playing around, we didn't mean to hit you, huh? Hey, you want soft drink? You want marble? You want a doll baby? And you play because you know the mother is a bully. So say, you can't say, okay, Shasta, don't cry, you heard nothing. We'll give you sweetie. We'll give you the ball. We will give, don't know, Mr. Chastanet. Don't say nothing, you hear? We didn't mean it. We didn't mean it. Don't worry, you hear? We friend. You like me? You like me? Brethren, sister, and our word. That's what I'm seeing that happen. Since when that's my role?
How you mean what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Mr. Speaker, I realize for a long time you want to be part of that. Since when that's your role? Since when that's your role?
Why me? I tell you I'm the judge tonight. I'm telling you what I see. So all the time them fellas have a fake smile during jazz. That's your show. You had it plan you. But that's it. Sebutsa, you're the lawyer. They have lawyers in the house. And none of the lawyers could have advised. And by the way, is a lawyer who caused all the friction, you know. A lawyer was downstairs while Mr. Chastanet. We have a call coming in. Let me take the call. Caller, you're on the air. Fire.
Good evening. Good evening, Garfield, and
yes,
everybody in the forum. How are you? You on fire tonight, huh?
Listen to me. I am the judge tonight.
You're the judge. I like that. And you're doing a very good job,
You
Judge.
think so?
So let me behave myself before I get sent to the,
I said
the holding before I get the holding cell below the
Diamond.
The new below the the new courthouse.
C'est là nous avons
the new court. Yes, Eastern Caribbean Court of Justice. Below that. I don't want to go to jail there.
No.
Hey,
so be nice in my courthouse.
I'll be nice.
Talk. What's on your mind,
Brother Garfield? This this entire thing, right? With the Honorable Alan Chastanet and our so-called Speaker of the House and Hilaire and the cabal, the red cabal.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is all of this just to throw y'all's weight around and show that y'all are in charge of the house. All of this to silence Mr. Alan Chastanet from speaking of a deal that he believes, and St. Lucians as well believe, that there is something absolutely wrong with that deal. The amount of monies that land was sold for, etc. All of this to throw St. Lucians off the high cost of living, off the high cost of gas, groceries, the bad roads, the hospitals being in a mess, a complete mess. 100 of our nurses have left St. Lucia. Yes, we have 100 less nurses today.
Wow.
Our ID office is a mess. Our passport office is a mess. All government offices are complete mess. Everything in St. Lucia is going under. All of this to throw us off the way we live in St. Lucia and the way things are being done in St. Lucia.
Wow.
All of this, I mean, a lawyer has to get involved. Monies has to be paid to a lawyer again because of the speaker. All of this to show that you all, Claudius Francis and your red cabal, you all are the bosses of St. Lucia. This is what this is about. Because if you know you had a case, Mr. Francis, and I think I should take Mr. back. Claudius, if you know you had a case, why would you be why would he lay in his little convent uniform according to Dr. Secret? I'm speaking after Dr. Secret.
Okay.
Dr. Secret always says he wears a convent uniform.
Yep.
So in your little convent uniform, running to the courts to say, we have a deal for him to bring him back and whatnot. No deal. No deal, judge. No deal, because they did not realize that what they were doing that day was completely wrong and out of order.
That's right.
No deal, judge.
Yeah, they were not advised by the AG.
Mr. Chastanet, no deal. No deal. You'll have an attorney general. He's so red. The red wool is so over the attorney general's eyes that he couldn't see clearly to say, listen, I need to have a word with you, Mr. Speaker, really quickly. And whisper something in Mr. Speaker's ears. You all did all of this just to go back today to say, oh, we are going to do this and we are. No. It's not about what you all want to do. It's what is right and what is just. And that is what the ruling should be about, what is just and what is right. And all you're doing wrong, and then you want to come back and make offers like you're you're on the playground in a preschool. We paying preschoolers to run our country. Solutions. Wake up, my people, wake up.
Before you go forward, listen to me. We are now putting on our sheriff hat because we got to arrest some people tonight. So I am a judge, a sheriff, and the Speaker of the House. Go ahead, caller.
Why, I don't know who you arrested, man. I wouldn't be one of them. Huh?
Listen,
I want to wear the sheriff hat. I want to make the arrest.
You want to make it? But I got to be all three.
Deputy sheriff.
Because the Speaker is all three. He's the police, he's the sheriff, he's the Speaker of the House, and he's the judge.
That's right. You judge, jury, executioner, and everything else, bailiff and everything else. And I said bailiff, meaning
bailiff is good tea, man. Bailiff is good tea. Why you?
You everything. You've taken Chastanet. You have done this. You guys, because it's all of them. Arrest him, this, that, whatever.
But you heard King shouting, arrest.
I heard it wasn't King alone. There were other voices in the arrest him business too. Okay, it was not just King. King was the first, but there are other voices behind the first arrest him. So at the end of the day, what are they doing in court today? Offering him things. Why are you all offering him things? Y'all are trying to say that y'all are undoing, y'all are giving him a chance. You'll give him a chance to come back into the house. Is that what this is?
But these guys are making decisions and then they're thinking about the consequences. You have an AG, consult with him. You guys came with the intention to throw the man out of the house. Consult with your AG. And if the AG advised you all that way, he should be fired together with the Speaker. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, it was well planned. Frederick was not in the house when Honorable Chastanet made his contribution in the house. The man was in his holding cell. Oh, sorry, holding quarters.
I have the keys for the cell. You don't worry. Go ahead.
He was in his holding cell somewhere downstairs.
Yeah.
Quarters. Sorry, let me correct that.
Yeah, the quarters.
And he run up the stairs, breathless and whatever, and comes to stand on a point of order in the house when he was not in the house when the statement was being made, and the Claudius Francis allowed the point of order. People don't even understand what really went down there, you know.
That was a point of disorder because the man was sitting already.
How can you stand on a point of order? Not even that he was sitting already. Frederick was absent when Chastanet was making his contribution. He was not sitting in the house to stand on a point of order. So why did Mr. Speaker allow a point of order from someone who was sitting in his holding cell downstairs. Does that, to stand on a point of order, you've got to be present in the house.
Not on your cell phone watching the program.
When the person is making their contribution and they make the statement, that is when you stand on a point of order. A point of order, the person has finished his contribution, sat down, you're now running inside the house and you're allowed to stand on a point of order. What point of order? What are you talking about?
But Collie, remember that none of the other ministers objected to the statement by the Honorable Alan Chastanet. Not even the Prime Minister.
Richard, when the statement was made, Richard was not he was not in the house. Yeah. He came in after the statement was made and claimed that he's standing on a point of order. And Claudius is asking Richard, are you member, are you making a contribution to the debate?
Yeah.
No, Mr. Speaker, I'm standing on a point of order. Richard, you should have stood on a point of order in your holding cell downstairs. Because that's where you were when the statement was being made. Since when do you come and stand on a point of order after the fact? This is comedy. This is like a really good comedy playing out.
Yeah, because honestly, I'm reading. But sorry, caller, not to interrupt you, but I am reading the statement from the Honorable Alan Chastanet. If this statement is true, it looks like a big joke to me that Ernest Hilaire is coming to say to the judge, "Not so fast, judge. We have an affidavit. We want to finish with this. We are planning to go in the house and lift the suspension." So
why is Ernest Hilaire coming to the house? Isn't it Claudius Francis and the AG?
I don't know why.
But I don't know his ruling.
I don't know why that happened, because Mr. Hilaire is the leader of government business in the House, right? The House voted to suspend Mr. Chastanet. Mr. Chastanet took the leader of the opposition, the Speaker of the House and the AG to court. So I would suspect that the AG and Mr. Francis would have said to the court, we can always make some recommendations to the House when we get back to lift the suspension. But what we have here, I am not sure. I'm a judge tonight, but I miss all my just classes. I couldn't pass my exam at all. I couldn't pass it, so bear with me. So I would think that it would have been in place that the AG would have, or the Speaker, his lawyers would have said, "Look, we want to settle this. We want to settle this, please. We want to settle it. We'll take care of it." But Hilaire said, "Look, we were planning to go. We were planning at the next setting." Who told the opposition leader that we were planning to lift the suspension? So it means that Mr. Chastanet was right all along to challenge this in court.
Now, if I were in Mr. Chastanet's shoes, I'd tell the judge, "I'm sorry, but it's a little bit too late for that, Judge."
The damage has already been done.
That's right. And why didn't they write to my lawyer and say that this
is our intention?
Right after, if they thought that they had done something that was not right.
That's right.
That was against the rules of the House.
That's right.
Why didn't they write to Mr. Chastanet or his lawyer and say, "Listen, we know that we ruled against, we didn't rule within the rulings of the House, so we need now to change this ruling and apologize for doing it, etc." Now they owe him an apology.
Boy, this is,
they owe Mr. Chastanet a big apology.
But now...
And I would not have settled for this.
But we got
if I was Alan Chastanet.
But yes, but this is funny that, and again, I keep stressing that we have an AG, the top lawyer for the state. We have lawyers sitting there in the House. And they keep, I don't think these guys like the Speaker of the House, because why would you allow the Speaker to go down that path for the second time? You all have not even paid Mr. Chastanet and his lawyers their money as yet. You all in court again. Let's play our favorite music first. Let's play our favorite music first, because tonight, I don't understand.
Mr. Speaker, I realize
you are the assistant judge, okay?
Since when that's your role?
I'm dancing.
Caller, go ahead.
I just had a good dance. Move the Speaker from the House.
We will move him tonight because Mohammed Sheriff Hatla said, Mr. Speaker, you will not move until I am finished speaking.
Let me tell you something. This was so planned, but it was badly executed and it was clumsy.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Claudius Francis? Let me just jog people's memories here. Bear with me, St. Lucians, listeners. You'll find this quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it Claudius Francis, when he was appointed Speaker of the House, who came in and made his nice long speech? And in that speech also said that I will not tolerate lateness from anybody coming into this house and
first speech,
Listen, it is in my head. It's not going anywhere. I didn't have to go and check for it. It's in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Then, Mr. Francis, why did you walk into the house late that day?
Mm-hmm.
Why was Richard Frederick late that day? For that house sitting, I want you guys to go back and realize there were members of the house running late for that house sitting. Where were those members? What were they doing? Including Mr. Speaker. To the point where the reporter who reports on NTN, made a comment saying that members are running late today for this house sitting.
Mm-hmm.
I want y'all to go back. What were they doing before the house sitting? Were they planning what they were going to execute towards the end of the house sitting? Has anybody actually looked at this and read stuff that actually happened and they don't even know that it was happening?
Mm-hmm.
They were planning this. They planned it, but they did not execute it well. It got messy.
And I think
messy
Richard
because Richard did not make it in time for the point of order.
Yeah. I suspect
and that's
maybe
when it started getting messy.
Right. Yes. So I believe
Richard never run up the stairs quickly enough to be there when Mr. Shasta was making his statement.
Mm-hmm.
To stand on a point of order in the house at that moment when Mr. Chastain made his statement. So first of all, he gets there late. Secondly, Claudius Francis asked him, I remember you're going to contribute to the debate.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I haven't invaded in the studio.
Says, I'm going to stand. No, Mr. Speaker, I'm standing on a point of order. To what, Richard? To thin air?
Mm-hmm.
To nothing happening in the house anymore. So from that moment, it got messy.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Hilaire asking the speaker to give him the recommendations of how what they should do, I guess, to punish Alan Chastanet. Did the speaker make one recommendation to Hilaire? No, he did not.
Nope.
Hilaire suggested something. Mr. Speaker never gave him any recommendations. He just went with what he did.
Yes.
This was so messy and
it
so
was,
obvious.
Yeah, I mean.
It was so obvious and so messy.
We need to send them to acting school, man. Yeah. I think they just got blinded with them.
I need to teach these guys. No. I need to go teach these guys some things,
Yeah.
Because these guys did not play that skit out the way it was supposed to have been done.
No.
And so it got very messy.
But
and that is what landed them.
But can I predict
in
something?
The courthouse this morning.
I am going to tell you that the downfall of the SLP would be Mr. Chastanet, nobody else. But Mr. Chastanet, they are making, in their haste, with their bitterness, they are making a lot of mistake. They are making a lot, and not only mistakes, they are making legal blunders.
That's right. And I will not say I will not say just Mr. Chastanet. The downfall of the SLP will be the members' hatred, the members of the SLP, the members of the governing body, their hatred towards Chastanet is what is going to bring them down. It's their hatred, because hate breeds a lot of crap.
Yeah.
And St. Lucians, take note of what's going on in the house and apply it to your life.
Yeah.
Hate could get you into a lot of trouble. It can destroy your life. It can destroy your hatred towards an individual, especially an individual who has done nothing wrong to you. Not a thing to you.
Yep. And
to see how they are behaving, that is beyond. That is beyond. I don't even know what word to use. Beyond stupidity, beyond foolishness. All these guys look so dumb today, it is not even funny. Now, Mr. Chastanet, if I were you, I would say, Your Honor, I'm sorry, but it's a little bit too late.
But I think Mr. Chastanet would not back down.
To make peace.
No.
I understand they're trying to make peace, but let me speak with my lawyer, Your Honor, and we will come back. Can we come back later today or tomorrow? You understand?
But let's read this statement again. Sorry.
This is not making sense. This is not making sense.
Right. So let's read the statement again. It says, Mr. Ernest Hilaire had filed an affidavit. Now let's look at this. When the matter came on for hearing today, the judge's attention was drawn to the fact that Mr. Ernest Hilaire had filed an affidavit, Davis or whatever it is, in the court this morning, indicating that the government members intended to pass a motion at the next sitting of the House to lift the suspension.
Yeah, but it goes on to say, listen, Brother Garfield, it goes on to say that Mr. Chastanet would not be able to participate.
No, that's not, not this one. No,
not this one.
Section,
okay.
no. Let me. I know what you're talking about, right? This is section. Let's see if we can find it. Wait, I'm having some issues there. Isam Bazooka. Okay, let me see. Oh boy, I'm stuck. But let me. I'll get it for you. Okay, so
Mr.
Oh, I got it.
Shot himself in his foot with his own
mouth.
bazooka,
in
and
his
he
mouth
shot
too.
all. Yeah, he shot all the rest of the members of the SLP government.
3. This is what he says.
With his bazooka.
This is what it says. To allow Shasta to take a seat in the House but not participate. Now, that is good because, remember, he's suspended from the House by vote. It's right? So now he got to go in and sit in silence, allow them to vote to lift the suspension. Then he can participate. That is the deal here with.
So it looks like no. Listen to this. It looks like they're the ones doing Mr. Chastanet a favor.
No, I don't think that is what it is. I think
these guys are so cocky. These guys are so cocky and so egotistical and so full of themselves that now they're making it look like it's them.
No, but it was a negotiation.
Who actually doing the leader of the opposition a favor.
No. It was negotiated by. Let me read it again here. It says that on that basis. So after Hilaire, the lawyers draw the judge's attention to the fact that the government, they are willing to suspend the unjustly suspension.
The ban.
Here is what the conclusion was, right? it says which Mr. Chastanet contends was unlawful, right? So it's unlawful. So here now, based on what Mr. Chastanet is saying to the court, here's the basis now. It says on that basis, the parties negotiated the terms of an undertaking that was given by the speaker to the court. So the speaker now steps in and is saying something here to the court. Right, so there's a negotiation, there's agreement there that was given by the speaker to the court. Remember this, the speaker, which has the same injunctive effect as if an order had been made by the court in those terms. So now, based on the negotiation, it's just as if the court had made a decision. So here what it says, the undertaking given by the speaker are as follows. It was given by the speaker as follows. 1, to invite Mr. Chastanet to attend the next sitting. That's what the speaker have to do now. Whenever that occur, I heard that the sitting for tomorrow is not going to happen. So why? I suspect there is shame, there is embarrassment at this moment. Now,
they're not going to apologize to Mr. Chastanet?
They will, but the sitting is postponed because, of course, they got to strategize. They got to wash their face from the eggs that the speaker threw at them and the other gentleman. So now, out of an abundance of caution, say bugla nipu, I organized koyo, so when they come they will be desensitized. So the second one is not to exclude or cause to be excluded Mr. Chastanet from entering the house or the precinct of the house. Now remember, this was the order that he cannot enter the house or the environment of the house.
No, the environment, not
right.
outside.
He cannot come into the space there. Right? Right. That's right. So, thirdly, to allow Mr. Chastanet to sit in the house but not participate, that's in the process of that vote by the members so he cannot vote. For the motion to lift the suspension basically of Mr. Chastanet shall be the first matter to be dealt with. So there is no other matter that is going to be dealt with at the next sitting of the House whenever that should occur. So guess what? They are coming there only to deal with Mr. Chastanet. Mr. Chastanet, he boss. A whole session just for Mr. Chastanet.
Let me tell you something. And having done all of this, these guys are so calculating.
Yeah.
Solutions. This is actually done to get our attentions off the sale of the Banan's land.
Okay?
All of this, but we're not done.
No.
We are not done. Land is not immovable.
No.
Lot 50 or 51 is 50 days old. Lot 50 is the same size as Lot 11.
Yeah.
Okay, parcel 11 and parcel 50, which was sold, or 51, that whichever lot was sold, are the same size. There's just a few square feet missing from it. And then he took from the other lots, neighboring lots, some land to create the footpath. And the few square feet he took from 50 or 51 to create 50, the other one for the footpath. That's what happened. That land so the land is still valued at almost $7 million. Okay, Solutions? The value of the land still stands at $7 million. And Mr. Skinny Sinclair, I don't know what you're getting yourself involved in,
right.
But still, do the right thing.
Exactly. We have something here from my doctor friend, my mother here, Joyce, Dr. Fletcher, and she's a good woman, all right? So here what she's saying is that the man speaks, he has a show tonight, emergency show, and the man speaks like, yes, he said, wow, he says that what is in the paper is not true. So let me show you what let me show what you did, right? Let me just read something from him.
So what is in the paper is not true.
No.
and you come on TV, he came on his show and said this. Now, I hope Mr. Chastanet, the judge, the lawyers are paying attention to what Claudius Francis has said on national television tonight.
What happened is that
because
somebody need to call the show to challenge him. Now, these people pride themselves on having papers, always having papers to show. Here is an opportunity to show you all papers on the show. Did Mr. Claudius show any paper from the law, from the case today? Did he show anything? They're always showing. Nobody else is showing papers tonight. Let's read something here, right? Let's go to Minerva Ward, right? And then we'll come back. I want you to watch a response from him. Now, Minerva Ward, right? She breaks story today. She said, breaking news. The courts have again ruled against the Speaker of the House, Claudius Francis, and in favor of Alan Chastanet and blah, blah, blah. All right? So look at this, right? Stick with me. Now, that's Miss Ward. Here is his quick challenge. Here's what he says. Claudius Francis. Stay with me, folks. Claudius J. Francis on his Facebook page, and I quote, "Why would people lie about these things which are so easily verifiable? Such dishonesty." All right. Now, this is the response from Mr. Bazooka Man. My question is, you planned your show earlier today to come on to give an explanation. I am hoping that you would have shown papers. You verify. You were saying that it's easily verifiable. You have the papers, so you were in court. You bring the papers. Your government pride themselves on presenting. Okay, I have a call there. I don't know if we should take it the call, but I'll stick with you for now. Somebody is trying to.
Brother Garfield, all of this is being done, and all of this is also to throw people off the banana sale, one, and two, to throw St. Lucians off from what's really going on the ground in St. Lucia. SLP, and I don't want to say SLP government, but that's what they are, and I have to refer to them as what they are, because they're not the government for all. SLP government prides itself in ensuring that it creates noise to distract St. Lucians so that they would not look at the real issues that they faced with on a daily basis. Okay? SLP government prides itself. Look, jazz. I'm not against jazz festival. I love jazz. However, you take $8 million and throw it into jazz. And to add insult to injury, that's for 1 week. And yes, it would give vendors who are approved vendors for Jazz Festival, because they have to pay for their booths, etc. So it would give vendors a chance to come in and make some money. Person who owns bars that want to open their bars, again, they pay for the booth. Artists who wants to showcase their art, again, they have to pay for use of the venue. Taxi drivers would make money from the persons we had, the tourists that we had come in for jazz. The hotels made some money. Homeowners made some money. The supermarkets, the restaurants in Rodney Bay, and bar owners in Rodney Bay, and possibly tour operators doing tours to Soufriere and other short tours, etc., would make some money. Does that touch? That's a week. This is short-term money, people. This is money for a week. The event at Pigeon Island is a 2 or 3 day event, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. So it's realistically 3 days certain people's lives were touched in terms of making some money. This is short-term. Do you take $8 million and throw it into such a short-term incentive to make a little bit of money for a specific sector in St. Lucia? Answer that question. Does that make financial sense for this country? Now, if you're taking $4 million and stuck it into jazz, yes, people would make returns, but then you take $4 million and you stick it into something needed like medical.
Yeah.
You stick it into something that is needed in this country, like our medical. We do even have facilities here. Then you're going to do, and people to show you how bad these guys are and how insulting they are to us St. Lucians. So they would pave the road going to Pigeon Point from Grosley Gap to Pigeon Point, paved from Grosley Gap on the end by the water into the town. From that to landings, paved, because foreigners have to use this road. And then you go and you do half the roundabout, Nebe Walk, half the roundabout. You block off part of the roundabout and you pave half of that roundabout. Philip J. Pierre, wake up. We don't need half. Half of it ain't going to work for us. If you are going to spend our money, spend it wisely and properly and give us high standards. Because you could have done the entire roundabout.
Can I share with you the response from the SLP? Now here is the Labour Party responding to Meneva Ward putting out this information. Here is let's read from the SLP. This is from the SLP's Facebook page. Breaking news: Attorney General's Chamber to write to the judge to seek direction on what sanctions, if any, can be imposed for the blatant lies by Meneva Ward for misrepresenting information coming out of the court hearing today. Case management: Alan Chastanet versus Speaker, Attorney General. It is set for the 28th of July, and so no ruling has been made by the judge. You cannot have case management after the ruling. So, in other words, the SLP is saying that the Attorney General will write. Now, remember, the Attorney General is part of this case that Mr. Chastanet filed. So, let's listen carefully. So, the Attorney General is writing to the judge to seek directions as to what sanction they can put on Meneva Ward, who is in Canada. Now, you see time wasted, right? Put out the information. Put out the information.
Meneva Ward has a right to her opinion. Meneva Ward has a right to report on a matter if she's heard something has happened. In her own opinion, did she curse anybody? Did she insult anybody? Did she mislead anybody? Is Meneva Ward in court? Is Meneva Ward Mr. Chastanet? Is Meneva Ward Mr. Chastanet's lawyer?
But you see the same problem. You see the problem with the land issue where people are asking for transparency. Listen what they're saying. First of all, they're saying, oh, what she said is wrong. What we are presenting is wrong. There's a show tonight. Show us. You have a Facebook page. You're always showing documents when it was Chastanet in power. Showing documents. Here's the opportunity to clarify. And that's their problem, you know. They're not clarifying anything. They're saying, you lie, you voler, you this, you that, Chastanet thief, guy thief. Put the information out.
Let us not, Brother Garfi, let us not get deceived by that response to Meneva Ward, because yet again, SLP is just keeping us busy to read nonsense, which they know very well that no one is going to take Meneva Ward to court for writing an opinion piece on a case that was heard this morning. Okay?
Right. If she's misrepresenting information, you correct it. Why are you going to ask for sanctions? Put out the right information.
Take Meneva Ward to court for it, so they're making it seem to the public that, we're taking Meneva, SLP's taking Meneva Ward to court to answer her name and da-da-da-da-da, when they know very well that this is not happening, and they are just, and I'm telling you, this is to throw the UWP people off, to make them get involved in things that are unnecessary when we are supposed to be building our momentum from constituency to constituency. They want to stop that. They will do anything to stop the inevitable, what they cannot stop from happening. They saw something happen in Soufrière. They saw something happen in Forestier. They are running scared, and they're trying to get us all in the melee and the ménage and the manger cochon, however we call it, so we can get caught up rather than focus on building our party the way we have been doing. They're trying to get us to get melee into things that we should not even worry about. So this maneuver ward thing, I am telling everybody to scrap that. That response that SLP sent to maneuver ward,
you scrapping things on you scrapping things on the SLP to your own detriment. Look what they did in the House to Mr. Chastanet, constantly taking him to taking his constitutional rights from him when they know they have no authority to do it.
This is all to stop Mr. Chastanet from making progress with the UWP and its people that we now putting in place to get ready for the upcoming election. This is all to throw Mr. Chastanet off the rail so that UWP is not ready. You guys, what they're doing is wrong. And I understand that I need to be given attention. However, the other side of this is that they are trying to stop the progress in the UWP, the entire party, because all the people are going to get so caught up in everything that's going on that our work that has been happening, you were here for the Soufrière, you were in St. Lucia for Forestier, you saw the numbers. You saw the numbers. You know in reality what the numbers were. So when they get Chastanet all taken aback by court and people are vexed and whatnot, the momentum going to do another constituency, they're going to break that. That's going to stop. That's going to stop because Chastanet have bigger fish to fry. He have things to deal with that they have created for him. And in the same creating these things for him, they're now coming and give the solutions to the same thing to bring him back into the house. Solutions. Wake up. We just have to stop SLP, stop them once and for all. All the crap that they're doing, we need to stand up. We need to go and march. We need to stand up to these people. I am not asking people to burn buildings. We are not the SLPs. We don't do that. But we need, from every constituency, we need to come out on that road in Castries. And we need to show our power in numbers and let these people know what's really going on in St. Lucia and let them know that we are the boss. We, the St. Lucian people, are their bosses. And they cannot twist us and turn us and make ourselves, what does the late thingy say again?
Malmene our Seville, yeah. Yeah, yes.
They can't malmanage our civils, because everything they're doing is premeditated.
True.
It is all premeditated. They don't want us to talk about jazz. They don't want us to say people don't need jazz. They don't want us to say the roads have holes. They don't want us to say the price of gas is the highest in the Eastern Caribbean. They don't want to say the cost of our food is the highest in the Eastern Caribbean. They don't want us to say our utility bills are too high, we cannot handle it. They don't want us to say they haven't created one job except for the SLP political pundits. They have not created a job for a Malayway in St. Lucia. Rather, they send the Malaways home from all the projects that they stopped. They don't want us to say that we want St. Jude's, the new St. Jude's Hospital. They don't want us to say that they're mismanaging our funds by putting $8 million into jazz, where they could have put half of that and used half to do something very important and urgent, because we have lots of urgent needs in St. Lucia. They don't want us to stay on these things. They want to keep us busy with all the little things because they think we like row. We will support Mr. Chastanet, but we will not let the SLPs get us off that track we were on. We were on a track. We had tunnel vision doing something, building the constituencies back. We will not let them get us off that.
Yes.
We will support our leader, but we will continue the work that has started, because that is why they're doing all of that, to throw us off so they catch us with our pants down when they call the next election, which is pretty soon. St. Lucians, wake up, eh? Wake up. Now,
Yeah.
I'll give somebody else a chance.
Yeah,
to
thank
call,
you so much.
because I've been on the phone for a while.
Thank you. Right. Thank you for calling. There is a guy, Julian Charles, who is
Thank
saying,
you
woman,
so
shut
much.
up. Let me just guide him. Julian Charles, we do not come.
And it's okay for him.
Yes.
It's okay for him to say shut up, because I see he's put some
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yes, Mommy. Welcome to the platform, Caribbean American News.
I love listening to this young lady when she calls you. She's very informed.
I know.
And she's always on spot on. But I had to jump in here because, like a lot of people, I'm watching tonight I'm doing a lot of things. I'm listening to Claudia's show, which I don't never listen to.
Right.
But I had to listen to because he could go on and say that me never lied. Now, I, like a lot of people, were very concerned about the number 3 on the document.
Right.
That number 3, because you have the document before you. I don't have it right now in front of me, but I was very concerned. Right. I had number 3. I was concerned about number 3. So I asked the lawyers to explain it to me, explain the document. What has happened, to wrap it down to a nutshell, to put it down for our people, because it was broken down for people to understand. And that is what I said earlier in a group today, that you need to break things down. If educated people like myself are questioning it, follow the ordinary man, they wouldn't understand. And there the spin and the bull will be coming out from the SLP that Claudius is doing and saying, like the speaker is doing, and saying, this is a lie. What is the lie?
What is the lie?
Because you had people. You told the man that he cannot, or your decision was he couldn't, and they've made this thing, they made this ruling that he cannot come in the house, okay, until he apologizes.
That's right.
Okay? Now, that was brought against you, as well as for unlawful detaining the man in the house.
That's right.
Okay? All right. Now, what has been dealt with is that they went in the house, push a motion that they, before the judge, push a motion, which was done by the leader of government business, that they will come back in the house, run a motion to take back the motion that they had put the motion on the man. That is what they decided to do.
That's what
because
they did, yes.
If they did not do that, if they did not do that, okay, they would have been embarrassed, they would have been destroyed if they had let this thing go to court full. They would have been destroyed, because Alan would have destroyed them with it. They had no right, because what happened is when the man proved his point on the land of issue to show that 11 is 11, 50 and 51 are part of our 11. When you add 50 and 51 together, well, it will be a little even more than 11, because 51 is made up of apart from 10 and apart from 9. That is 51.
Right.
Now, you don't need to know the actual size. By just looking at it, when the maps were shown, Alan was lifting up the maps in the house. The maps are showing you that 51 is a lot smaller, but 51 is made up of 10 and 11. And 50 is made up of and 50 is bigger, but 50 and 51 are part of 11.
Right.
If 11 was almost 7 million, and you sell 50 for under 3 million, what is the price of 51 that you're showing on the map that is smaller? What is the price of it? Take out two from almost 7. How much is that? You're telling me the little piece is worth more. So when Alan was able to show that, and they realized where they went, he spin the thing around and he turned this thing on Alan on the thing of corruption. If I was there, I would say I say that there must be corruption if you all agree to something like that. But that is it, Alan. They know Alan would have killed them in the house. So they went and they take the motion to pull the motion back. So when Alan was in the house, he has to sit. That was what street all about. He sit, keep quiet, okay, until they bring up their motion that they had said yes to say no. That's what this thing is all about. That is the thing about it. So in essence, he did win. He did win. He won that because they had to go and take the motion. They're going back to the House and take the motion, and that's the deal they made with. This is the deal they made with Alan's lawyers.
Right. So that based on that,
and
you make sense to those of us who think for ourselves and can reason. It makes sense that yes, the judge did not make a decision on the entire case, but the judge allowed negotiations to go ahead between both parties. The government side brought forth the idea to the attention, the motion to the court saying, look, we were planning to lift the suspension. We were planning to do it.
Yeah, so that is what it's all about. And if you look at 5, what it says, they'll go back in the House, pull it up, and let Alan get on with the business. But what is going to happen in July is this business dealing with the unlawful thing where you say, where the speaker say, keep him.
Yes,
you
right.
You can't leave.
So, and you're right, because 5 says upon the motion being carried, the claimant will be at liberty to carry on his duties in service of the House. Which means that Mr. CHASTANET came out victorious on the motion of suspension.
Yes, on the thing where they say he couldn't come to the House. When they would have probably tried after 3 times, they would go and have a by-election in his constituency. You know, so people need to understand that this needs to be broken down. But I understand from the chairman is going to be on Sky FM tomorrow, and he will be explaining it again so that the normal man, the ordinary man, and those of them that like me who didn't understand and who had to get a lawyer to explain it to me. So now I understand, and so I'm saying it to the people you have there tonight who may not be hearing the chairman tomorrow, that they can listen on again to listen to the chairman tomorrow. But that is what it is. Just the first part, that part about the motion, about him coming into the House, about him getting on his government business. And don't worry about this thing you say about he will sit down and don't participate. That is just words until they have to pull up them. When they meet in the House, they have to pull up the motion.
Yeah, the
that's
motion,
what they agreed to. That's what
once the motion is passed, then he's free to participate.
Of the government business.
But not for that day, because remember, the document is saying that the only matter that will be heard at that session would be this whole suspension.
Yes,
right. So there will be no reason for him to speak anyway, because there is no discussions, there is nothing.
Nothing. So he'll be coming back to the House when there is a debate.
A debate, that's right.
Which they had taken upon, decide upon themselves that you didn't vote the man.
No.
The people put the man as an MP. You're going to say he can't come in the House because he didn't apologize to all against the truth.
But remember, it was the same judge / speaker who tried to be the financial manager of the government and take away the man's salary, and he failed.
Right. So we have to understand these things. So now, I find that these things they're putting up in our face, that we don't focus on what they have done, where they have defrauded solutions, okay, in this land business, to keep the party all tangled up in all this court business while we should have been out there matching and fighting and putting them down and getting them looking at all the ills that we are going through. This young lady just articulated to you tonight, to our listeners, that the country is going through, to bamboozle you all, because all I was hearing tonight is about the successes of jazz, and of course, by just looking at the figures and the numbers. But what is sweet in goat's mouth is always sour in its bam bam. So we're going to wait to see what did it do to the country? How much did the country benefit from jazz? What did it do apart from probably lifting up people's morale who was sitting down from not having no water since COVID? So let us watch these things. I have nothing to say about jazz. I'm not a jazz person. I never went. I watched it. I heard what they said. So let us see. But to talk about jazz was fantastic. Yes, it was. That a lot of numbers. But they have more important things. Your lands and heritage and things are being taken from you all. You're having all this business where the National Trust is silent. You're having problems where prices are over and you cannot eat. So after jazz, then you're going to start crying again. And these things have not changed, because did the things change? It's just like taking a bobo and putting a bandage on it. When you lift up the bandage, the bobo's still there.
That's right.
This is the kind of thing that we need to be focused on. These are the things we need to be fighting on. And yes, Alan will be able to come in the House and deal with the people's business. You all have to learn a lesson. Stop interfering in the business of the state. You all may not. You all may have the majority, but 37,000 people put in their solutions. They have rights. We respect that.
That's right.
Now, the business of unlawfully detaining him, that will go on into July. And that doesn't mean that they will have, in my view, and from my experience with Labour Party, this thing is going to drag probably every time there'll be an adjournment, like many other cases that people have even forgotten about. Okay? But tonight is a victory for Alan. He will come in the house, they will lift up their motion, they will all go home, they will all drink their drink, then come back in the house and get on with the business of the house. This is what this thing is about. So when you're reading it, understand it like I didn't understand it. No matter how I may carry doctorate, I didn't understand. A lawyer had to explain to me and break it down. And therefore, the chairman is going on tomorrow on Sky FM. People listen in. He will be breaking it down to the masses. But those people, 300 and plus people, you have almost 400 people listening to you tonight. They need to understand that is what happened. Alan Chastanet. So when the speaker goes and writes on Minerva saying that she lied, what did Minerva lie about? Minerva came out before the party.
But he have not clarified.
The the same thing.
Right, he have not said anything differently as far as I'm concerned.
No.
Because if you're saying she's lying, then you prove to us, just like you wanted Mr. Chastanet to do about the land, you need to practice what you're preaching, Mr. Speaker. You put the truth out.
But did when your friend had come on your show and keep asking you to give you the answers, did Richard, when he came out, did he say what is the size of 50? What is the size of 51? Did he say that?
No.
Okay.
Well, Anson is another case. So
all they do is spin.
Yeah, just spin.
And people need to listen.
Yeah.
People need to open their eyes. Solutions need to listen properly of what is happening to them. Stop being vaguely. Okay? Stop letting people give you a 6 for a 9. Stop just drinking the Kool-Aid. Because you all are the ones that suffering. Chastanet is not suffering, and a lot of others in their socioeconomic bracket, it might be a little tight for them, but it is not. They're not suffering. Your waist that is not tying, and a little handout for handout is you. When you eat it, you go straight to the toilet. If it's not building up a future for you, for your children tomorrow.
That's right.
It's not buying land for you. It's not helping you build a house. You are just eating the butter, eating it now in the handout, and you go to the toilet with it. So people need to wake up and look at it and say, am I concerned about my future, the stability of my children's future? Am I concerned about what happens in this country to make it easier for us to live in? Am I living like a microwave now for now? Or am I looking for a sustainable future? This is what we are. And I'm saying again, listen to the chairman, watch the party as it comes in the next 2 days. I'm open that there will be things. We need to focus. People need to call out and hold the government accountable on the bananas land business. Hold them accountable on a lot of other things. Don't let jazz and all these other things fool you and distract you and take you off from what is the real issue. St. Lucia should never have been in a state where we have MPs being disrespected in a house, being treated that way, especially when we have such a minority. It should not be happening. Okay? We should be able to be respectful. We should be able to stand up. We should be able to speak and deal with things. There should be no fear. Okay, don't come to me with insults and curses and calling me names and telling me things. What the fact? So if you come and you're going to come and tell me you're ugly, you this and that, you're a jammet, I will waste my time and take you on. You're a fool.
Yeah, because
you
that's
don't love your country.
That's right. You're not discussing the issues.
I am saying something there. I don't even know you. Do you think I even care about you? Might be a little hole while I sleeping on my king size bed, and you think I could care about a fool? So you come there when I speak. Come and take me on and say what you have said about the bananas land is not correct. What you have said about the state of the economy is not good. It is X, Y, and Z. Other than that, sit the hell down and shut it. I don't want to hear you. It don't matter what you call me. It does not change the price of cocoa because I am not putting my hat in front of you and I'm not depending on nobody. That is what St. Lucians have to realize. Chastanet do not need them, but Chastanet loves this country and he is doing it for us. and we need to stand with him and stand behind him. Gaffel, thank you for what
But
you're doing.
before-
Thank you for the way you put this here tonight. It is and continue doing what you're doing, and your interaction and your callers have been fantastic.
But
I'm
you know-
going on more to listen now that the show finished.
You know, Mother, you're the one who inspired me for tonight's show. And by the way, you have a beautiful picture on WhatsApp, I must say. Beautiful.
Yes,
I am
thank you
watching
very
it while
much.
you're talking.
The other show has finished on TV, so now I can put all my attention on what you're saying.
Yeah, I like
thank you
the
so
picture.
much.
Thank you for the inspiration.
Everybody, all my club people,
Yeah.
good night. I'm listening on, okay? Thanks,
Okay,
Gaffel.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Folks, you can call, let's take a few more calls and then we will dismiss the show. I want some of you to focus, get to bed on time. So I know some of you are already in your bed, but I'm the judge tonight and now the sheriff, so you got to bear with me, folks. So let me see if I can, but the number is 929-586-1821. I have someone who was trying to call me there. Let me see if I can get back to them, get them on the set, all right? Again, the number is 929-586-1821. Caller, you on the air.
Yes, good night, Gaffel.
Good night, my friend.
Yes, how are you doing?
Not bad at all, Sorry for the missed call.
Yes, Gaffel, I am a bit confused because I am saying to myself, if there wasn't something, and the speaker, because I listened to the speaker tonight on his show, where he said like the leader of government business did not write the affidavit or whatsoever.
Oh, the speaker said that?
Thinking of Gaffel. Yes. Because I listened to him very, very, very well. Because I wanted to hear one, two things. Because I am thinking of Gaffel, that there is something that they are hiding. Now, what the technique they're using, they're using the technique to bluff the Lucians, right? To tell them this is not true, this is not what happened, and this is not what happened, right? But right now, they see that they're sticking that. They stick in this thing, assassinating, they stick in that. And the speaker also said that his side and Chastanet's side, the lawyers, they agree on something. So why not see what you'll agree on?
That's right.
Why not? Yeah, why you don't want to see what you'll agree on? Tell us, because we are listening. We want to know what is going on. And I think these things, Lucians need to really watch what is going on. Because I can remember in the year 2000 and somewhere 8, 9, 10, somewhere there, when King was Prime Minister, check the amount of walkout these guys walked out.
Yeah.
And nobody stopped them.
That's
nobody
right.
stopped them. Nobody asked policemen to stop them or bring them back. And the things. And I'm saying to Lucians, and I'm saying to the SLP also, they are making Chastanet to be popular, and Chastanet will be back as the Prime Minister. Because Gaffel, I can recall that I remember when John was there, and they were campaigning last in the year 97. And when Kenny just hit the spot, so John always tell his members, do not, you can talk about the man, but don't make the man an issue, because you will make Lucians vote the man into power. And that was all. No, I'm telling you, because I have been around John for ages. As a young man, I've been around him from ages, and I can tell you things that will shock St. Lucians. I remember when he won 2006, 2007, he brought some of them up to his estate in Maho, and he gave them a lecture, and he told them that after he leaves, the party will be going through some hell, jealousy, fighting, quarreling. People will wake up and don't know what to do if trouble will stand. But when the party gets a leader, he did not say who. He said there will be a leader. And this leader will go through hell. But when that leader is established, it's going to take the SLP another 30 years to get back into power.
Wow.
And this is exactly what I'm seeing that is taking place. Yeah. Because I can put people things because I've been around Sir John. He has told me things. I admire this man, and a lot of things went. A lot of things went. But I'm just asking St. Lucians to be careful, open their eyes, see what's going on. Because, and another thing again that gets me.
Talk to me, caller.
I am not saying about jazz is not good. But if you are putting us first, why you didn't put lots of Lucian first into the jazz, like the local artists? Because you said you put in us first. Because your company putting people first, putting us first. Why you had all these types of foreign artists? How many local artists we had that came on stage? You think that money could not stay in St. Lucia and do something for us? Anyway, Gavin, let me give somebody else a chance. Just good night. Okay?
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for calling, caller. Thank you so much. Okay. So we're going to take at least maybe 3 more calls. I got to follow up with some calls that came into the platform from our regular line. Let me just see if I can pull it up. Call if you're listening. I will be putting you back on the air. Caribbean American News Media. It is 10:17 p.m. here in the United States and in the Eastern Caribbean and other parts of the world. All right? Caller, you're on the air. We're just returning your call.
My boobies. Good evening, my brother. How are you?
Not bad at all, Brother Ian.
Good program as usual, Brother Gaston. Let me commend you for the way you structured your program this evening and the education, because you see, when this information came out, there was a little bit of confusion, but
yes.
I'm happy that you came out with your program and there's some clarity in this whole court case matter. The fact remains, whether the Labour Party want to twist it, whether they want to somersault, or whether they want to backflip, whatever they want to do, the fact remains they lost big time. Because, and you know what is sad? Claudius Francis continued to bring the House of Assembly into disrepute. It's like a circus. You cannot tell me that you guys passed a motion to suspend the leader of the opposition from further parliament sitting. He took you out to court. The judge gave a ruling that, look here, based on what I'm saying, that you guys were wrong, and you have to apologize to the leader of the opposition and recant the same motion that you have passed and you're voting on. You'll have to recant that motion and vote to recant the motion, the previous motion that you already put a vote to. That sounds comical. That sounds like a circus. And this is what is happening in our parliament now, because we have a Speaker of the House of Assembly, Claudius Francis, who is just politically blind. I am boldly saying, Brother Garfield, and to your viewers, that Claudius Francis is suffering from red eye. He has a red eye disease. He cannot see nothing beyond red.
Wow.
I mean, let us be truthful. St. Clair Daniel, I'm going way back with prior speakers of the House. St. Clair Daniel was a speaker. We all knew where his political allegiance was. But when he went into that house, he was a professional.
Yeah.
He didn't show any political bias. There were instances where the leader of the opposition, which was Julian at the time, I remember there was one situation when they had a budget and the nose had it. St. Clair Daniel still wanted the nose. And Sir John had to come back and do something over. I can't remember the full details right now. But St. Clair Daniel was a professional. And we all knew which political party he belonged to. But Claudius Francis, it's obvious he's suffering from a red eye disease. Now,
we'll help him with his red eye.
Look at what's happening here now.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be a parliament sitting
tomorrow.
We have been told, we don't know, because again, with this Labour Party government, there's no transparency, there's no accountability. You would think that there's supposed to be a parliament sitting tomorrow, that you go on the government website, or there would be some messaging or some communication to the public to say, hey, subsequent whatever, there's no parliament. We're just speculating that there's no parliament session because there's nothing official.
So it's not official. There's nothing official out there.
We don't know. We don't know. We're just hearing that there's no parliament. But
that's why people are assuming and they're taking people all to privileged committee, because there's lack of transparency, lack of information being provided to the general public and even the opposition leader.
Exactly.
So therefore, with lack of information, you will have speculation. You'll have people assuming stuff.
Exactly. So if you go on the government website, which is where you're supposed to get the information, I could, because I'm subject to correction. Anybody can correct me. If you go there, do you see any information that says Parliament has been cancelled tomorrow? I don't know. But we hear it, there's no Parliament.
I think you ought to go to the Speaker of the House website.
Why there's no Parliament? Because they're embarrassed that they have to go to whatever subsequent Parliament sitting to apologize. But I think that this is knowing the Labour Party that I know, those guys are very calculating. They will devise some plan. Those guys are not humble enough to go to Parliament and apologize to Alan Chastanet or to recant their motion. They will find some loophole. Just mark my words, Brother Garfield. This current Labour Party we have there in Parliament, there's no humility among them. They will find a way. They will go back to have this secret meeting, because this whole thing you see happened in the last Parliament sitting, where Alan Chastanet was thrown out from the Parliament. It was well planned, at a particular residence in Capet State. We know the plan. Everything was well planned. It's just that the plan was not executed properly. And it backfired on them again. So when Claudius Francis now is having a show tonight, first of all, I have a problem with a Speaker of the House having a talk show. Only bullshit that can happen, Brother Garfield. In any civilized jurisdiction or any civilized country, Speaker of the House should never have any talk show. That's how it's done. Because you have a talk show, you're exposing yourself to political discussion. Where's your neutrality? So I have a serious problem with that. Further to that, Claudius Francis had his show tonight. He brought no clarity. He went on his Facebook page, like you rightly said, and you showed it to your viewers, that he said Minerva lied. The information that she brought up was incorrect. But when you look at the what we saw from the court, he did not lie. That's a victory for Alan Chastanet. It makes the government of the Labour Party look comical. It's like a circus. You pass a motion to vote the man out, to suspend him from any parliament sitting unless he apologizes. He took you to court. The judge is saying to you now, look, you cannot do that. This is what you'll have to do. You'll have to go back and recant the same motion or take back the same motion that you passed. Doesn't that sound comical to you, Brother Garfield?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And it's a victory for Alan Chastanet because you suspended him from the parliament, which constitutionally they cannot do that, because Alan Chastanet was duly elected by the people of Niku South. The only person that can do that is the people of Niku South, who can say, look, hey, we want fresh elections in Niku South. They are the ones that can do that. But the parliament cannot do that.
Well, if they want to get rid of Mr. Chastanet, just call the elections and let the people decide. But don't play all these foolishness in the House. Call elections tomorrow and see what the people say,
So that was wrong.
Yeah.
And now it's so comical, like I said, for them to go back now and or take back the motion that they voted on at the last parliament sitting. I am saying to Flavo supporters, we should be happy, we should rejoice that Alan Chastanet will be back in parliament representing the people, the 38,000 UWP supporters who voted him.
Well, he was never out. He was never out.
No, what I'm saying is the fact that the Labour Party had passed that motion and they voted to put him out of to suspend him from parliament. He won. There's victory for Alan Chastanet. That means he's back into the parliament and there's nothing they can do about it. But we'll wait to see, because I don't underestimate those Labour Party government. They're up to all kinds of dirty tricks. And I'm telling you, as we speak now, they're up to some ploy again. But I'm putting them on notice that we United Workers' Party supporters, we are paying attention to them. And anything that they plan further, will fail because the people have the power and we have the power in our hands. And I want St. Lucians to understand it. Forget UWP or Labour. The people have the power to decide if they want a government or not. And if they don't want the government, the people have the power to want it to rise up and to say, look, enough is enough. And I think at this point in time, Brother Gaston, enough is enough. Look at the situation. We hearing that there's no transparency and accountability. They say in the Labour Party that the government that they spent $3 million on jazz. How that could be? When we hearing in Soufre, a certain individual charged the government of the Labour Party $50,000 for catering. When we heard in another situation where one individual charged the government of the Labour Party $75,000 for the VIP lot.
We are hearing, but we're not sure. We're not sure of that.
No, there's the one for Soufre. There's a document circulating on social media to prove that.
Okay.
Then you see all the extravagance with the state preparations, the sound system, the artists. Because bringing out Sting is a renowned artist, you know. Sting is not cheap. Buju Banton is a Grammy Award winner. He's not cheap. So I am saying that is impossible.
Hold a minute. Somebody's saying that the success of the Jazz Festival is hurting the UWP hacks. But let me tell this person. Hold. Let me tell this person. Over here is a no crazy zone. First of all, you're not even making sense in your statement. This is not even kindergarten stuff we're doing here. This is big people stuff. So the idea that a success in St. Lucia is hurting St. Lucians, that doesn't make sense. And again, that is you guys' mindset in this country. I spoke about it today, even in New York. That's what you guys do. You don't want to see your people succeed. And so that's the mentality that you have, that the United Workers' Party don't want to see jazz successful, and they don't like the success of jazz. This is a no child zone. You should wash your face, take your bath, and go to bed. Period. And I flush that.
And to add to what you said,
Ian, go. You have a minute. Go ahead. We have one more call here.
Yes, and to add to what you say, the UWP has never been opposed to jazz. As a matter of fact, let us set the record straight. It was the UWP under Romana Atlantico. Alan Chastanet was director of tourism, and Lufa Forswa who started the jazz festival. So UWP has never been opposed of jazz. What we're saying is, you need to set priorities. Why? Because we're hearing now the blood bank is closed. The blood bank is closed. We're hearing now there's no blood bank to put blood samples. People have to take their blood samples in their hands to take to another medical institution to get their blood samples tested. We're hearing that the hospitals have no medication because the government of the Labour Party is owing the suppliers millions of dollars. So the suppliers now are threatening to do not supply the government of Senegal medication. So there's no medicine. That's what we're saying. Where is the priority?
Okay.
That's all we're saying.
Yeah,
so
but I am not even. Thank you. But if jazz is a success, it's a success for the people of St. Lucia. So I'm not even going to talk about jazz. Thank you, brother. Jazz is what it is. If it's successful, it's successful. The government, the people benefit from it. So I'm not even going to talk about jazz right now, because jazz is not going to help our poor families in Denver who cannot buy a case of malt to go and sell at jazz. So I'm not even going to be bothered about that. All right. I have one more call that I'm going to take from our WhatsApp. I'm going to return this call. This is Caribbean American News Media. It is 10:29 p.m. here in our studio. I'm not sure what time is it, but I see we have some little kids playing around with their phones, making some very ridiculous statements. The parents should take away that phone from them. Caller, you on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Pastor Oliver.
Good evening. You're on Caribbean American News Media. Go ahead, caller. Greetings.
Yeah. 3 callers before asked about the Banan's land. She was asking what amount of land is in parcel 51. But in Parcel 51. Parcel 51 is made up of lands from 50, 9, and 10.
50, 9, and 10.
Yeah, that make up the Parcel 51.
Okay.
Now, what we need to know, what amount of land from 10, what amount of land from 9, and what amount of land 50 that make the 51. Because we can't just go on the 51 thinking like the 51 is land just from the 50. You get me?
Yes. I got you. So there's a lot of questions out there, not only from the opposition leader, but from the people of St. Lucia.
Because Richard had something showing where 18,000 square feet of land make up Parcel 51. Now what is showing there as if the 18,000 is from the Parcel 50.
Oh.
But no, 51 is made up of some land from 51 is made up of some land from 50, some from 9, and some from 10. So you want to know exactly what amount of land from the Parcel 50 that is included in the 51.
Okay. So these
are. And if you got me.
I got you, sir. I got you. And I don't have the documents right now to look at, but these are questions. I wrote your question down, and we look forward to someone coming on the platform and dealing with this once and for all. All right?
Yeah.
So blessings to you, my brother. Thanks for being here with us.
Have a good night.
You too. Enjoy the night.
Great
Thanks
show,
for calling.
great show, man.
Appreciate it. Blessings to you. All right. So, folks, we have come. Thank you, Carlo. We have come to the end of the show. I don't know what to say because it is what it is, and the spin will continue to happen. All I can say to you folks, stay focused. Get ready. Those of you with ID cards, good for you. Those of you who don't have your ID cards, get your ID cards, because tonight the judge is going to call elections, okay? The judge is going to call elections, and the judge hereby declared, I'm going to ask the sheriff. By the way, I'm the sheriff too, so I'm going to ask myself to get everything in place for for elections in 2023, December 16th. December 16th, we're going to have elections, and the honorable judge have called the elections. I'm going to ask the sheriff to take care of everything else. And folks, I'm so happy that you're here tonight. I see Brother Hanson is coming on now. So folks, before we send anybody to the holding facility that we have in the courtroom, I'm going to say you have been a very good audience. Keep sticking to the issues, keep watching. And I want to advise the United Workers' Party supporters tonight. Somebody says it's just 9 o'clock. Somebody's trying to deceive the judge. So I will hold you in contempt of court, so be careful. And my doctor, thank you so much. Have a beautiful night, safe rest. I am sheriff, the only sheriff in town, Dr. Fletcher. And judge, by the way, judge. Sheriff. Mama, me mix sheriffs here. So I have the Dyer Mall. We have the pictures. We have everything. We want to share with you the Dyer Mall. We will see how fast we can do it. We have the St. Jude's. We have some other projects that we got to show you tonight. I really want you to pay attention to the Dyer Mall especially. I don't know if you will have time for me to just show it, but maybe we should wait until another show. But I'm excited about the Dyer Mall. I am totally excited, and I'm out of breath running up the stairs just to see the Dyer Mall. It's a beautiful building, brethren, and what can I say? But elections, remember, is December 16th, 2023. In other words, I'm saying to you, go get your ID card, folks. Go get your ID card. Go get your ID card. And folks, guys, listen to me. It's my show. It's my show. And I can call elections when I want. I can send people out of my courthouse, out of my house when I want. So keep me back, I'm getting older. Leave me, let me enjoy myself. But I can say to you, don't have no fear for the Honorable Alan Chastanet. Alan Chastanet has a team of prayer warriors, including myself, on his side. And I'm going to say to the United Workers' Party folks, let us be careful in how we spread information, especially on legal matters. I want us to be very cautious. Let's not complicate this matter. All right? Let's not complicate it. Let's be as transparent as we can in information that we put out there, because there are innocent people who are depending on us for the truth. And I learned one thing in church, that the truth will always set us free. Nothing but the truth will do that. So let us try as much as we can to be on the side of truth, stay on the side of righteousness. Also, there is a party machine, which is PRO, chairman, and the political leader. Let's allow them sometimes to take the lead on some matters, most matters relating to the party, and then we come behind and lend the support, all right? So let's be cautious in putting out certain information, all right? I just wanted to say that so that we can stay united, we can stay focused on the mission and not be distracted by all these sometimes careless, foolish talk that you hear out there. We are one, we'll remain one, and we will get the work done. So stay fired up, stay ready, get your ID cards, because the Honorable Sheriff and the Honorable Judge have called the elections. They les okaide pour voter le platform la. Nous ka mette a poll on the December 16. Nous ka mette a poll le Facebook pour vote. All right? Nous ka mette Chaste, nous ka mette Philip Trippers okaide pour vote right now. So I got it pour bagay. All right? So folks, have a beautiful night. We love all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight on the platform. We do appreciate it. And may God continue to bless you folks. Bless you as we rest tonight. May you sleep in Jesus. Amen. Don't forget to pray. Don't forget to acknowledge Christ, God, in your life. A matter of fact, I have a big we have a big Wednesday night meeting, prayer meeting on Zoom. And I'm inviting you guys, some of you, most of you come on. I will put the link. I'm inviting you on Wednesday at 8 p.m. for an hour of prayer, praise, thanksgiving, and everything else. All right? Some of you need a little blessing. See you guys, folks.